in tune. I can't help but feel like for Fnatic on this one, they may be reaching a little bit, like maybe we have to cheese or something like that. It does feel a little forced, while DC still have enough time to respond and adjust to the Huskar.
I mean, it could still work depending on how well he does in the lane.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like, oh, it's a bad Huskar game, you know. There's still a possibility that Huskar gets out of control, and with the IO partnering the Huskar, they should be able to, you know, with a good advantage from the lane, take over the game, and they're on the dire side.
So do you think the Void is offlane then, and they pick another carry, or is it like the safe lane Mushi Void, which was very good in the other game?
But I think with Elder Titan, you probably want a range hero or something like that doesn't need babysitting. Void, I'm not so sure, because you might get under a lot of pressure against the Beastmaster.
You definitely need like a sustainable hero, right?
So I'm not sure about Void being a good solution to that.
I think it's more just Void being strong in the offlane this game, because if you think if it's going to be dual lane mid from Fnatic, then I think that one of the supports at DC pretty much have to be mid to help the Invoker at least for a little while. Otherwise that's going to be stressful for them. So they can put the Void offlane with the idea that he'll probably get a lot, I think, out of his lane.
Well, we could even see like the Sanking for Ohio, and then like
yeah, that's true too.
Like a solo safe lane against the Beastmaster, for example.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's an extremely good idea.
And then they do like the Void offlane, but then you put like Mushi in a position he really doesn't like to play, like offlane.
Yeah, that's true. But then if he gets like maybe some support from the IO like early, I don't know, it might work for them.
I think it could work because Beastmaster really gets destroyed by Sanking, and we've seen Ohio Sanking like make so many plays happen for Fnatic.
Oh yeah. They actually banned out the Batrider instead. We'll see if the Sand King does turn up for Fnatic, but first we have to go to DC for their last and final grab here.
Well, Resolution, what carry will he play?
I mean, Ursa would have been one of the best solutions, but it's not going to be available. There's still like Klinks is pretty good against Huskar in some ways, and you can go behind and kill the IO.
Yeah, it's very vulnerable against Faces Void.
You have disruption. Both, I guess you have to rely on the teammates.
But like,
yeah, this is the counter.
They pulled this out
the
in
Huskar
the group
counter
stage, yeah, as a Huskar counter. I was casting it with Waga. They did this in the group stage, and it was very successful.
Gosh,
it's a complete hard counter.
They don't have any AoE right now, like not much AoE apart from the spirits from the IO.
That's a great pick.
And ultimate from Elder Titan, so they don't really have anything reliable against that.
But now more. Like, I definitely want to see like a Sanking right now.
They need someone to kill the
They need AoE, they need a really good laner, they need Sanking.
If it's a Sand King, then that hat works.
I'm sold, man.
That hat works. That's the case. But
I should go and sell stuff, I think.
Yeah, you got the hat too.
You're already ahead of yourself. They haven't picked the Sand King yet there, sir.
Okay, let's just go like about like possible options. What could they pick? There is SK, there is
Darkseer, I don't know.
Darkseer?
Darkseer I don't think is nearly as good in a situation. Unless you can get like a Vac into Stomp and Earth Splitter. That's like the only thing.
Yeah, not good. Sand King seems like the most reliable option.
Ember Spirit Black.
So it is an offlane Void, and
okay, their tempo is like all off now, I feel, with that Ember pick. Like, I know why they pick it, but I honestly think that DC's draft is like
way better.
Way better. Like, yeah.
Way better.
DC all the way, Sunsfan all the way. Let's go, Dakota.
All right, it's all DC here. Let's go ahead and throw it out right now to our two casters to see how they feel about our Game 2 matchup. It is Capitalist and Blitz.
Chikiro.
Fnatic have made the long run through the losers brackets, and all the way until just that game one, it was a flawless victory for them. 2-0ing countless opponents. They were building up so much momentum, but they finally lost a game. This is really the test for Fnatic. Can they actually come back? Do they have that champion spirit that allows them to get struck down once and be able to climb back up again? We're about to see in this game number 2, as again, we're going to feature some surprise picks. The Chaos Knight coming back as the clear counter to the Huskar.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the better heroes to deal with Fnatic's lineup just because they don't have that best way to deal with all those illusions. That's why they decided to gamble on the Ember Spirit by mid one, but at the same time, it might just not be enough as you need a lot of damage to deal with them.
Yes, you absolutely do. The Chaos Knight already natural in heavy amount of strength. You're going to need so much damage to clear through those illusions, but then you've got even worse, the Shadow Demon backing up, so that's going to be potentially even more illusions that are going to be thrown all over the field. And let's not forget the Kunkka Boat that's going to be coming in, making sure that everyone is even tankier when they go for that engagement. And then the Beastmaster Aura is going to be a nice upgrade in damage as well.
Fnatic going to move out, and this Huskar It was meant to be their surprise pick to throw DC off, but I think DC kind of did the same with this Chaos Knight, and now we see DC. They're going to go for this bottom rune. Misery up in this top area. Misery, this playmaker so far for DC in the early game, has made everything possible for them so far, leading this young squad into a top 4 berth, and he wants to push it even further. They are 1 game away from entering the final day, and there is nobody that has that on their brackets.
The other side, Fnatic. You said that in the beginning when we were watching this draft, the Elder Titan faces Void, probably one of the strongest openers. Does that offset what has been a very clear later in the draft counter with the Chaos Knight pick?
It does some of it, just because this combination has to be top 3 in Dota right now. You have a lot of different setups with this Faceless Void, with this Earth Splitter, the Echo Stomp. There's just a lot of different ways to synergize. On top of that, because of the Chronosphere, you have the Spirit in there at all times. You're going to deal so much damage within it, almost always going to kill somebody as DC. They're going to make a move all the way around mid-1. He's going to get sandwiched.
They had 4 heroes down. They showed up until the last second and smoked up and will be able to find the first blood. The Sleight of Fist dodges a lot of damage, but he's getting body blocked up by Misery. Can they stay ahead of him? He's trying to get in front. DJ gives the extra movement.
That was incredible.
Beautiful pickup level Sleight of Fist to dodge the torrent and speeds himself away ahead of Digital Chaos's attempt at first blood.
And Resolution opting to go for the Reality Rift first. Mid-1, quick thinking there as he barely manages to dodge that torrent. That was unbelievable.
Things getting even worse as Saksa gonna take a lot of damage here from 343, caught out by himself. The full aggro tri-lane is gonna come out from Digital Chaos. They may try and go onto this Elder Titan. No, they're gonna leave him be for now, but they will have this nice disruption torrent combination with the Chaos Knight to be able to follow it up. Our middle lane though is going to be a bit harder for DC. Invoker is going to be matched up against the Ember Spirit in what could be the Wisp, but for now he's going to go top. It looks like they may be able to sandwich Misery, get some damage out on him. I think they just want to secure this Huskar lane, as we've seen in the past against some Drow Ranger lineups, and especially Huskar. If you don't have the counter to the hero in the mid game, you need to make sure that you pressure him in the laning phase as best as possible.
Yeah, this is a very good way to do it, but at the same time, Fnatic, they've got a decent lineup to battle back this Elder Titan. Able to get into these right-click fights and suck, so they don't have this kill potential quite yet. And now they're going to go on DJ.
Disruption, Torrent follow up. DJ's already down to half HP, actually just a stun, and they will be able to finish him off. They don't even need the Torrent. Being faked out now as Mushi dropped quite low as well. He's got a good backup of regeneration. Looks like he wants to keep himself just on that borderline where he's got the extra attack speed, but is still taking up to survive. Saksa, he's making a run here, managed to pick up his boots. He needs the help of his team though, because he was getting sandwiched, but this is going to turn against
a lot of
DC.
spears.
Resolution, a lot of spears burning him down tick by tick. He has to heal himself, but it may not still be enough. 4 HP, and there he goes. Saksa, he moved forward for the boots and ends up baiting his own core into death.
You cannot push that far out. This Huskar deals so much damage in the early phases of the game. Level 2 burning spears now. And for DC to win this lane definitively, they have to get kills. But it's going to be hard. The counter initiation from this Huskar, if you don't immediately burst somebody down, he is going to grab a kill for himself.
DC will return with their aggro trend lane. Try and wrest control of this lane once again. We haven't talked about the bottom lane too much. We'll briefly glimpse down there, because I'm sure there's going to be action top soon. Moo is matching up against Ohio Space's Void. It should be a
going to make a play for this.
There's the disruption, the torrent coming out. There is going to be a tether heal. 343 should be fine.
And they want to continue to try to make these aggressive moves up here as Fnatic. They're going to start pressing forward. Here comes the stomp.
Stomp, not quite latching there. DC now have the option to go on 343, decide against it. Resolution holds on to that Chaos Bolt, knowing that his mana is the biggest limiter in this lane. One Chaos Bolt is going to make him burn through a mango. He's only got one of those.
And the unfortunate news is that DJ also has that tether available, and he's got one more bottle charge and a fairy fire to go. It's going to be very hard for DC to immediately burst down any of these heroes without losing somebody in return. So Fnatic going to secure up this top lane. Now, mid one. There is a regen rune at bottom. unbeknownst to him, is we just going to continue to farm away. But so far, laning phase has been all Fnatic.
The 4-minute rune going to be contested by the two supports on both sides. Spirit already going out, increasing the right-click damage at 3-4-3 as he's going to try and battle out. He's going to be careful. The Torn dodge is there. They start going for the disruption onto DJ. He picks up the bounty rune, but is going to be caught by Fnatic still. Now they're going to try and turn this one around. Sunstrike, oh, beautiful mid one. Dancing around the edge of that one, but it's not going to be enough for him to escape unless the fire is enough. One more right-click. Oh no, it's not enough. He gets it. Force Spirit finds it in the end. 3-2 now is Fnatic. They lost their Ember Spirit and their Wisp in exchange for the Kunkka. Clearly a trade that is not worth it for them.
After that kill, first blood attempt, this laning phase hasn't gone exactly great for them as Moo getting bullied out of this bottom lane by Ohio. Faceless Void, one of the best melee 1v1 traders.
And it's all about the micro for Moo. He's got to keep that more, constantly harassing Ohio, but also staying one step away from the Faceless Void, making sure he doesn't give away any extra gold. Now he's going to TP back to base. He does have his level 6, so we may see the first game come out. Bihan going to be gone on by mid one. Mid one is relying on the flame guard quite heavily, but
I just go down here.
It may overwhelm him. He's got the battle charge. Will have to use both the battle charge as well as that healing salve to be able to keep himself alive. Miha also similarly just on the edge there.
I think if we turned half a second earlier, he probably would have been able to get that kill. But he got scared, and he doesn't have mana for the Sunstrike quite yet. We the type of player to still go for it.
Gonna go for it. Oh, you know it. You know he is mid one. He's right by the throne. Invoker not throwing out the Sunstrike. He's not gonna go for it. He doesn't have enough information.
Yeah, that would have been completely blind play of the game kind of stuff, but he's content to farm right now. He's zoned out this Ember Spirit very well by himself, and I think he's going to be relatively satisfied. But the other lanes right now, this is causing concern for Fnatic, as Mushi just continues to farm up, and DC really can't contest them. They have to be content to just let Resolution farm in this lane, and Mushi going to come back now. Already has the Helm of Iron Will and that magic stick.
It's hard to see how Digital Chaos will actually be able to deal with this Huskar now. Now that he's got those higher levels, it's so dangerous if they don't actually combo him fully correctly. And even then, there's still the possibility that the Wisp keeps him alive. Huskar can turn a fight. There's crazy output of damage from those burning spears. We'll have to see if Digital Chaos are going to take that risk as they continue to run this tri-lane, giving Mood plenty of space at the bottom lane to get some farm. He's even using some of the neutrals now to keep in step with Ohio. But as you said earlier, Ohio is still the Faceless Void, one of the best one-on-one matchups. He is taking an early lead in CS.
Right now, Boo has to do whatever he can just to trade somewhat evenly. But still, this Void, level 7, maxed out, Bash almost. He wants to try to look for any sort of signs of aggression as Mood. Can't really do much. Even if somebody rotates down here, they probably don't have enough damage to take down this Void. 1000 HP on him. No burst on the side of DC. Maybe if they pair with the Sunstrike, but it doesn't look like they want to go for any plays. And they're trying to still set up for top. This should be a high enough level of Sunstrike where maybe they can burst somebody down without the Huskar responding.
3-4-3, maybe the target here. He's the one putting himself on the front lines. Digital Chaos not going to go for it just yet. Our mid lane matchup, it was going really well for mid one in the beginning of the game. Despite it being a one-on-one and not actually having the Wisp there to protect him, he was getting a very big lead on the Invoker in CS. That is, up until that top river engagement where he ended up going down to the rotations from Digital Chaos. And then that last attempt on Miha's life also put him back at CS as well. He's trying to recover now, does have his level 7, so he's hit a certain peak and may be able to go for a kill if he gets any kind of rotation to help out with the Invoker.
Fnatic just pushing out this top lane. They've almost got this armlet on this Huskar. And once they have that, they can start to snowball pretty hard. Roshan's a possibility for them as well as DC. It's going to be tough for them to contest that, especially with their CK so underfarmed. As Moo again forced to resort to the jungle, as Ohio is going to pick up a very quick Vlad's, and this might be a very strong 5-man lineup for Fnatic.
Ember Spirit. Mid-One's already set himself up with a really nice defensive remnant over there above that top rune spawn area. So Mid-One isn't going to be caught out by this rotation. In fact, he's going to use the haste to go down to the bottom lane, see if he can get the solo farmer, and sure enough, they will be able to get him. Oh, they do have the Chronosphere, but Max TP is coming in, and with an Ember Spirit, he can't really do much about that Chronosphere, so I think Mid-One had a different plan in mind. He wanted to be able to get close range with Moo, start litting that flame guard, eat into Moo's HP, but the Chronosphere kind of keeps him zoned out, and DC responds with a complete rotation of their trial.
Yeah, and that was a very awkward engagement for Fnatic.
Whoa, pull him back there.
Have to use that Chrono, but still in the no-K position as this Faceless Void has gotten so much out of the map already.
That Hawk is so far off the map, you can't even see him, but that was what was giving vision of Ohio. Ohio still trying to see if he can contest this Tier 1 tower push. He's got a lot of allies coming in, but he has no Chronosphere. The Tier 1 tower dies before Fnatic can respond.
Yeah, and that tower being taken down, very good for DC as Fnatic did rotate quite a lot of heroes here. But up at top again, the bigger threat looms as Mushi's Huskar continues to sit back and farm. The good news for DC though is that they have completed this Midas on this Invoker, and now this Beastmaster has jumped out to a lead. Almost has that Necrobook 1. It's going to be very effective in shutting down the Void as he can burn through his mana quite quickly.
Mid-One's got himself an...
Oh, at bottom comes.
And
go for it.
He'll be able to get the stun. 2 seconds stun with the Sun Strike and the Torrent follow-up. It's going to burst Ohio pretty low. He needs a bit more time for that time walk. It doesn't look like he's going to get it. Pulled back by X marks the spot. Mushi not there quite yet to be able to hit that ultimate. Saksa turns around, does manage to get off the disruption, preventing the leap of the life break. Mushi, he's got that armlet. No one really wants to fight this Huskar unless they've got a complete airtight plan to fight him.
Yeah, he's not going to be easy to take down, especially with the Wisp that can wait in the wings and TP down. Doesn't have a TP quite yet, and Moo going to pop the Necrobooks by taking this tower.
Chaos Knight not sticking at that bottom lane. He heads up the top right as the Tier 1 tower is about to fall. Mid-One is going to make his reveal there with the invis move. Starts going on to Moo. Resolution is going to be coming in from the side. The Sunstrike actually takes out DJ. Now Resolution onto Mid-One. They do pop that ultimate. Chaos Knight is going to try and beat down Mid-One as best as possible. The ultimate going down with 3-4-3. Not going to be fast enough to be able to pull Resolution back. They're going to try and chase it down. But here comes the Shadow Demon. The stun going to be required here. Resolution a little bit more. Disruption ready to go. Prevents the Elder Titan from pursuing out. He tries to go for a Spirit here. Not going to be enough. 25 HP. Resolution stays one step ahead. Saksa, he's saved the very life. No! The Sunstrike was on the mark. Mid-One will barely survive, though.
Oh, if he was able to get that poison off, that would have been enough. That was 280 damage. Even with the reduction, Mid-One would have died. But the Shadow Demon can't pop it when you're dead.
That just means Ember Spirit able to get back to base, heals himself up, pops the Flame Guard even, just to make sure when Poison times out, he stays alive. Now Moo, they seem to be constantly moving the tri-lane and Moo around, switching sides. Moo was just top, took the Tier 1 tower. And that gank attempt now allows him to head bottom.
Yeah, now Mid-One gonna show back up mid. He still has a decent amount of net worth. This Invoker though, while all that was happening top, he just continues to farm out his own jungle, playing that very passive style. This is not a hero that you necessarily want to teamfight with. Although that may surprise some people, Invoker, the cooldown on this Invoke is so long that at best you get 2 abilities, both of them can't really teamfight. The better thing to do is look for these 2v2 engagements where you can help out with the Sunstrike across the map, and we can just continue to farm. You don't want to farm, really get into an engagement before you have at least the Aghanim Scepter.
A smoke rotation from Fnatic right now is currently trying to scout out behind the Tier 1 in the bottom lane, even hoping that someone's going to TP and try and stop Mushi from pushing forward. Not going to be the case here. The trap is a failure. Digital Chaos are going to sacrifice their safe lane tower in exchange for keeping this game very low risk.
DC pushing out this top lane in real good position right now. as this Invoker and Resolution's finally starting to pick up some farm. The Beastmaster doing very well for himself, almost already has the book too if he wants it, as Ohio might even be the target here. We talked about how much burst they have with these Necro Creeps.
They can get the Primal Roar. They're actually going to leave with the torrent. They will now blow up the Primal Roar. Enough, as well as the Sunstrike, it will be enough. They explode, the base is void, Ohio goes down. And now Digital Chaos will take back control of their own jungle.
Very well done by them, as now Fnatic trying to make their own move into this mid lane. Mid one finding the angle. Weehawk gonna get gone on.
He's gonna be chained up. Now the All-Titan ultimate should be able to snap it back as well. And with the extra bit of damage from the Spirits and the Flame Guard, they'll catch Weehaw inside the river. Ghost walked up, but still falls to the AoE.
Even without detection, like you said, enough burn damage to cut through him is very good rotation, but that was the first time we saw the Invoker position that aggressively, and they punished it so well, as this Ember Spirit has just been everywhere on the map. And the key thing is he still managed to keep up in farm, as Resolution just gonna scare him a little bit and force him to jump back.
Doesn't even have any backup in that top lane. Resolution is entirely alone. Doesn't even have the armlet, but is playing so confidently that Fnatic probably thinking twice about what heroes are behind him. DC, though, are actually running more of that two-man squad that you were talking about. With, looks like Misery and Moo gonna link up once again. The Torrents leading into the Primal Roar as a surprise gank, or even more secured the Primal Roar into a Torrent. It's a great combination, and you saw that combination mid. Used on a Wisp Illusion.
Moo gonna be incredibly disappointed with that, although he didn't pop the Necro Books, but still, that minute-long cooldown, Fnatic gonna try to get aggressive, and they really need to utilize this Huskar. It feels like Mushi a little bit too content to get into this farm more, but you want to try to use this hero to try to take down objectives, use him as a frontliner, especially with this Wisp, and now they're gonna start to do so as Mushi dragging himself mid.
He's got Armlet, he's got Dragonlance, which will allow him to siege down these towers a bit better. Maybe that's why Fnatic, they're going to find the Chronosphere behind the tier 1 tower. Saksa will be the target here. He'll be blown up, but the Torrent as well as the boat lands on Mushi. They do have that inner vitality going up, and Mushi should be fine to start hitting on that tier 1 tower. DC not fully committed to a fight just yet, but will start pushing forward.
And right now, this mid lane not really quite defensible, as they're not really looking to get into an engagement. DC just looking to push the creep wave back, continue to farm, get some items on their heroes. As again, Fnatic gotta play around this Huskar at all costs.
Somebody lit the Shadow Demon, get some levels. He's level 5 at 17 minutes in.
This might be one of the later timings I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The weird thing is he still has more net worth than this Elder Titan.
He's just playing this very sacrificial hard 5 role, but
Is he? He's got Arcane Boots and a wand, man.
I mean, it's just an experienced Mushi and a Sunstrike, pure damage, and the physical damage of Resolution's ult. In combination, will bring down the Huskar.
We're gonna see this Wish relocate come in as well. They might be able to just grab another kill. DC gathered around this ball of light.
They are gonna get the tether, put the pole back.
They are not gonna let it shine as they continue to push forward. Now walking into the Roche pit. Huskar and Wisp down without the relocate. This should be fast for DC, and this is the opening that they need to start taking control of the map.
Oh, Fnatic, it all starts falling apart. They had this Huskar, couldn't really use him to get any successful team fight, and then one mispositioning there leads him into a death in the mid lane, and it just snowballs so quickly. All of a sudden, thanks to the early Necronomicon by Moo, because DC bought him that kind of space, they have this pushing power where they can take down the tier 1 so quickly and transition into a Roshan kill.
That was a very fast Roshan. With all the summons, and on top of that, you've got Weehaw, who deals a very good amount of damage with that alacrity. They took that quite quickly, and Fnatic, they relied really heavily on that. Their Huskar doesn't have a hero like the Dazzle who can grave him. He's got the Wisp who, if he just gets blown up or DJ gets repelled, it's very easy to isolate this hero. They have tons of ways to deal with him. Plenty of minions, a lot of right-click damage in the form of their Chaos Knight with the Inner Beast. This is not a hero that is invincible in a game like this. So Fnatic, they're finally going to start playing around their Huskar, where Resolution already out.
It's just too late. They already have the aggressive vision down. You saw that ward being placed up earlier while they were in the Roshan pit. That helped give them the information of Fnatic's rotation down to bottom lane. They're hoping to be able to fight that Chaos Knight, especially while he still doesn't have Phantasm. But they're not able to abuse this long cooldown. Again, just failing to be able to latch onto a team fight or a gank that they're looking for. Now Mushi may be caught here. DJ ready to go with the relocate. Oh, no! That timing, and he disrupted Mushi. There was no target for the Wisp to relocate out. And all of a sudden, Mushi comes back, surrounded by Digital Chaos heroes, and it looks like DJ going to be sacrificed as well. He was hiding in the trees as he came back from that relocate, couldn't TP away fast enough.
And Fnatic just not reading that situation correctly is you cannot save the CK under those situations. Stock's a very good disruption, outplaying that Wisp right there, but Fnatic, this is the lineup that was meant to get into these engagements. They've got a Faceless Void and Elder Titan, Huskar, a very immobile hero. You want to start marching down lanes with this guy, and they haven't been able to do so, and instead, they're trying to play this split farm game, and DC, their team fight is just too strong. They push so quickly, Fnatic have to do something to respond.
Now, while there is finally the Ember Spirit picking up the battle here, it looks like Misery has taken a page out of Lanham's book and will be able to pick up an armlet for his Kunkka. His level 10, he's got base boots as well, maxed out Tidebringer as well as X. This is very rapidly turning into a fourth core for Digital Chaos.
Yeah, and it's pretty incredible to say, but net worth-wise, he's not even that far behind Mushi. Maybe if they win one team fight and they get a tower, he'll be pretty close. And Mushi, he's got to force his team to fight around him. They've got to start making moves. It looks like they're reluctant to with the Aegis, but in this mid lane, mid one, gonna get opened up on.
He can't really do much here besides the Sleight of Fist. The X marks the spot, not able to pull him back at the right time. Fortunately, there was a lot of targets there for the Sleight of Fist, so it was a stalled out and vulnerability period for that Ember Spirit. He makes zip away.
And this Huskar getting camped by DJ, but once again,
they know about this. Again, TJ sitting here with the relocate, not going in just yet. The Sunstrike's coming in. The relocate will be just in time. Pulls him out. Ohio's going to be the target instead as he gets Primal Roar. Oh, he didn't go that far. Back into play. Will start going on to Resolution. Takes a lot of physical damage, but now he jumps forward. Resolution is going to be his target. Turn around, 2 seconds done. That's going to be good enough. Weehaw, definitely blast pulling Mushi back into the Necronomicon. No! Armlet goes off. Mushi will survive. He's trapped inside the trees, but it looks like he will go through all of this. Meanwhile, Midwan catching up as the double kill will find a third. Misery. He tries to go for the turret. Oh, he gets the Sunstrike! The man is third, and Misery, he's doing it! He's already got the armlet toggle fighting out Midwan. Midwan kites him around, but it's long enough for Weehaw to come back and play. That cold snap! No, the cold snap stops the echo! Now Weehaw looking for Weehaw, looking for Midwan in the trees. He's hiding away. He's got that battle.
There's only one more
angle to find. Sees him now. Midwan ring around the Rosie into the trees. Trying to dodge. Tornado hit, and he's down.
that Sunstrike was a thing of beauty as Mushi gets caught off guard. We managing to save that fight from nothing. As Misery bought so much time with Ohio with the initiation, this should be able to grab him.
Some big time plays being made by Weehaw here on the main stage, but that Chronosphere is definitely heavy commitment by Fnatic to cut Weehaw's life down. They will be able to get that kill, and that was worth a lot too, about a 1,600 gold swing there.
Even without the Aghanims, that might have been one of the best combinations I've seen of Invoker spell usage. He cold snapped the Elder Titan at the last possible second, managing to catch him off guard. He runs down the Ember Spirit. So well done saving that fight. Otherwise, that could have been the turning point for Fnatic, as we see up at top.
I mean, this was such a clutch play. Misery, he tried to lay out a torrent. Midwan read it correctly, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it. But look at that. That toggle right there was beautiful. The Sunstrike lands on the Huskar, and Misery, even if he dies there, he survives long enough for Weehaw to be able to come in and chase down Midwan. 2 players of Digital Chaos making extremely good plays there.
I don't even know what to talk about them. I just want to keep focusing on that Sunstrike, because that thing was unbelievable. His move centered up at bottom. Maybe not the hero that he wants to go on. He does have that roar available. Maybe he wants to use it with the Sunstrike, but he's got to be always worried about DJ.
with the extra health coming in from Weehaw. He's already teaming into the hawk, but he's kind of stuck into the trees. He doesn't have a blink yet, so he's kind of stuck there and moved. He thought he was going to get some extra health, but in fact, he's going to be run down. Mid1 will be able to finish him off with a sleight of fist. Little do Fnatic know, Weehaw is still here in the trees.
That was very odd. They were trying to do that aerial strike combo.
Yeah.
Maybe even would have gotten a kill, but...
Somebody mismicroed the hawk. That's got to be it. Either that or he was planning on Moo to cut down the trees for him, but...
That was a pretty big kill for them, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Now this Huskar going to gain a little bit more network. They can still continue to play around this hero cap. He is incredibly strong. And Fnatic, the best thing for them is this Void ET combo can still scale at any point in the game. DC, got to be careful for that. You're going to have to grab something like the Aether Lens on Soxa, so he can always get that disruption off even with the chrono in the way.
Yeah, with Ohio having that Blink Dagger, he could get the clutch kind of initiations. He doesn't really need his scale.
He's going to just find a free kill.
Okay, it's going to be the Chronosphere onto Soxa. With the help of the relocate, they should easily be able to pick up that one. But that's a relocate and a Chronosphere committed. Fortunately, the positioning of that gank does lead them straight to the mid tower. But a Blink goes down, and Digital Chaos are actually here to defend.
Yeah, they want to fight this.
Weehaw chasing down Mushi with the cold snap jump forward. Annihilation by Ohio, just hoping to slow down these heroes. Nice stuff back. 3-4-3 will be able to hit multiple heroes, but Weehaw with a beautiful combination takes out Ohio. And now she's left alone to Mushi. Mushi's dead as well. The TP out 3-4-3 will complete it. But that's 3, 4
he gets him!
He got him with the Sunstrike.
Every single time you click anywhere inside the base, it'll always send you right on top of that logo. Reads the Sunstrike perfectly. If you're gonna get away from that Invoker, you want a TP to the left of it, but instead, Weehaw, unbelievable Invoker performance, willing DC to this top 3 berth. They're gonna start pushing down mid with 4 heroes down. They're gonna take down this tower quite quickly, even with the glyph in the way. Mid1, the only one left alive to defend this.
Unbelievable performance by Weehaw so far. They're going to be attempted pushback here from Mid1 with his Battle Fury, but he just can't output enough damage. The melee rack falls, and Mid1 knows he needs to be able to catch someone. He's
they got him again.
He's trying to jump away. Now it's going to be combinatorial. Combination. He's down. Ohio's here. They're desperate to be able to make something come of this, but Fnatic just not grouped up. Now here comes Mushi, but all of Digital
They get the back.
He hit away. Okay, there's the stop. They hit the Shadow Demon once again. Soxa will be left behind as his team escapes.
For the melee racks though, well worth his life. And DC, you cannot underestimate how quickly they push. Fnatic, in these team fights, they just do not look centered whatsoever. And they thought because it was 4v5, DC were going to avoid that fight, but without the chrono available, that's their major form of lockdown for this Huskar to be able to deal damage. And the Wisp was nowhere near him, went down very early.
Ohio's got the Chronosphere.
This is when you want to fight, if you're Fnatic.
No Shadow Demon disruption to be able to save the hero if they get the right kind of Chronosphere, but right now they just can't find the entrance. Forge Spirits are blocking out this right side entrance to Ohio. He can't really sneak his way in.
Next Roshan going to be absolutely massive for both teams. We saw time and time again, Mushi really needs that Aegis to be able to survive. Can't just rely on this ball of light. As DC, they take him down so quickly. DC, if they could get an Aegis onto somebody like Weehaw, being able to refresh your spells twice in a fight might be enough to propel them, as Fnatic just grouped around this area. They want to fight because they have this Chronosphere. Might be one of their better opportunities with the Vision game, with this gem picked up.
The final series, and potentially our final game, to determine which one of these two teams is going to be heading into the last day of the International. It's 19-14, 27.5 minutes in. Digital Chaos, 1 game up and 10,000 gold lead. 5,000 experience in game number 2.
Yeah, and Fnatic, again, they're just trying to farm out whatever they can. They know where the real fight's going to happen. As DC
poking around, they know Roshan, all important right now. That could be the way for Fnatic to be able to get back into this game off the momentum that an Aegis grants you. But you can see both sides contesting that Roshan pit as best as possible. The Boar versus the Rage Creep. The Boar will finally win. The crowd goes wild.
over that.
Not too much else happening right now.
Pick your spots, guys.
He's kind of pushing in the mid lane, but he can't really fully commit for a tier 1 tower push if they go for that on Digital Chaos' side of the map and they lose that fight. They'll also lose control of Roshan, so both teams are just searching for an opening right now.
Yeah, and Fnatic centered around this Rosh Pit area. They absolutely cannot afford to give it up. They do have superior vision right now as a result of this gem on this Void. This was going to be one of the only items that they could pick up to start turning things around, as the Hawk is going to do too much in the vision game, as they're going to smoke up now under complete vision. Maybe if they can get over here, DJ has that relocate available. It looks like Fnatic, maybe they want to find the angle to fight.
Sitting here on the high ground, they know this could be a funnel of death if they can get the right kind of Earth Splitter, but they choose not to take that engagement. They don't have all their heroes. They just fully back away.
Yeah, that might have been an opportunity for them, but they still feel like they're a little bit too far behind as DC gathered around this bottom area. No idea that they had smoked under that board vision as Fnatic. Maybe they go for a smoke of their own, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to go for. They want to collapse right on top of DC. They know exactly where they are. Maybe if they can angle around fast enough, the line's been drawn. DC.
They see if they come in through this left-hand side, they could catch Weeha's Invoker.
They're going to want to lead with this Faceless Void as we try to be safe, but he doesn't know that the full wraparound is coming in. They've circled DC's position.
Oh, they start grouping up big time. This Chronosphere could be beautiful for Ohio. It's so important that Fnatic win this fight.
Now the
the jump forward. There goes the Ambersphere, gets the vision already. Ohio faking the Chronosphere, will be able to latch onto one with his disruption, save it there. And Mushi, he's almost gone. Get it back still alive. He starts inner vitalitying up. The Sunstrike not in time. Will not be able to catch him, but looks like they got mid one. Resolution
doesn't have a TP.
Saksa is going to be going down, but it's Mushi who's all of course right now for Fnatic, but they can't quite save him in let. Maybe DJ, he got pulled back with the relocate, starts healing off the physical damage though. He cleans them down. Ohio, he moves on to Weehaw, desperate for some backsies. He can't get it though. Weehaw, he wins the man fight.
Can you armlet toggle this?
He's into the trees, trying to armlet toggle his way through against two supports, but DJ, he gets the right click. Unbelievable timing there with the urn. Gets the kill, and that makes it a 3 for 4.
And it looked so good in the beginning for DC, but it just took them a little bit too long to take down that Huskar. As that bottom 3-4-3 gonna get gone on, but we not willing to commit with that Wisp still up. Not really sure where he is. Now they're gonna just back out. A big hero to survive here, the Invoker. But still, a successful team fight for Fnatic.
And there is an upside because that was not a great Chronosphere. It only caught the Invoker. It did not get the Shadow Demon, which meant that there was an immediate disruption. It was basically a very ineffective ultimate from Ohio. It means that these team fights can still go much better for Fnatic, and they can begin to make a comeback. But for now, that fight alone is not going to be enough. The tempo still remains in Digital Chaos' court.
Yeah, and DC, they just weren't able to get any abilities off the move. He got killed quite quickly inside that Chronosphere, even with the disruption.
Man, Misery is getting so damn big.
Yeah, he's starting to develop into a core as he picks up a gem of his own, realizing that they just do not have the vision to play around this. And DC, centered around this Roshan pit, they understand the next Aegis of the game is going to matter quite a lot, as Ohio going to get spotted out by the Hawk, but DC's in return.
I mean, they should know Chronosphere is up. Digital Chaos going to still try and do Roshan here, leading Weehaw inside of the pit.